Well, our last news segment here, you thought that he was going away too. I don't know what it is with certain media journalists, I'll put this one in air quotes, just coming back. You got Hillary Clinton trying to make a comeback here. There's rumors that she's gonna run in 2024. God, I hope not. Just when you thought Brian Stelter was gone from CNN because he got fired, right? For his show, Reliable Sources. You gotta love that one. Well, he's back in the news, folks. He's not going anywhere. I guess the short answer here, folks, I'm sorry, it's so hard to say. It's such a joke. He got a job at an Ivy League school called Harvard. Okay, so what does an Ivy League education get you in the year of 2022? Life lessons on democracy and media from the likes of Brian Stelter. The ex-CNN anchor just landed a plush job as the fall 2022 Walter Shorenstein Media and Democracy Fellow at the Shorenstein Center on Media, Politics, and Public Policy at Harvard's Kennedy School. This guy's going to teach? Are you kidding me? A guy that had a freaking news segment called Reliable Sources, and there was nothing reliable about it. Had one of the worst shows on television. Remember, CNN tried to start CNN Plus. We literally have more subscribers on the Bald Brad Show than CNN Plus did in terms of subscribers. And people are trying to pay for it. Nobody's paying for stuff here. I'm not asking for money. Just asking for a little viewership and a like and subscribe. Take care of me, folks. But people are going to pay tons of money to try to learn from this guy. Stelter, recently fired from CNN, has once again proven that politics and media, the worst offenders, tend to fail upwards. It's amazing how these people get fired because they did a terrible job, they did a terrible show, and now they're just going to make another 6 figures plus working at a plush school, an Ivy League school. Quote, as the Walter Shorenstein Fellow, Stelter will convene a series of discussions about threats to democracy and the range of potential responses from the news media. Do you think this is going to be biased or unbiased? Gee, I wonder. All we have to do is think about Brian Stelter and his job at CNN in terms of it being reliable sources and in terms of it being unbiased, because according to CNN, they are unbiased. And that just doesn't come from me. That literally came from Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, and Brian Stelter themselves. They literally think they are unbiased. You know this is going to be a progressive classroom. You know that they're going to target Republicans. You know they're going to target GOP and conservatives. And you know he's going to have a tough time not keeping Trump out of his mouth. So that's what they're learning at Harvard, folks. These discussions with media leaders, policymakers, politicians, and Kennedy School students, fellows, and faculty will help deepen public and scholarly understanding about the current state of the information ecosystem and its impacts on democratic governance. To his credit, Stelter has done something that defies the odds of 21st century America. He landed an academic job as a white and straight male. What about the patriarchy that the left always talks about? What about him taking a minority or a person of color's job? Why is he getting a job before a person of color? I was told that not only do they need reparations, but I was told of affirmative action that they should be put in place of white males because it was the white males that held them down for so many decades, so many years. So I don't understand why he's being put front and foremost of somebody that is either a person of color or minority. I think he should be fired. I don't think he should be allowed to have his job according to the hierarchy of which the progressive left set for all of us. Obviously, I'm being facetious, folks. Based on the left standards and Harvard student admission system, those immutable characteristics do little to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. Just basically what I said. They just said it nicer. Nonetheless, Stelter is now an esteemed fellow at Harvard and can opine about dangers to democracy. In short, his class likely won't be that much different from his Sunday show. Stelter regularly spent his time parroting White House talking points, even asking former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki for tips on how to cover the Biden administration. Thus, it probably is not an incorrect prediction to speculate his lectures will be chock full of denigrating MAGA supporters and threats like the White House has been doing in recent weeks, just espousing the threats of the correlation that the Democrats are pushing that we just saw in the first two segments between January 6th and 9/11 is just going to be thrown in there as well. You also have the University of Chicago hosting a Disinformation and Erosion of Democracy conference in April. Oh, just lovely. Stelter was one of the experts on the stage, folks. Can you believe it? A guy that works for CNN that's talking about disinformation and erosion of democracy was one of the people on the stage on the panel. You can't make it up. You really can't. It's just unbelievable. Freshman Christopher Phillips calls out Brian Stelter and CNN for being a purveyor of disinformation. Absolutely correct. He points to the Russian collusion hoax, Jussie Smollett, the smears of Justice Kavanaugh and Nick Sandmann, and their dismissal of the Hunter Biden's laptop, just to name a few. But it's okay. He's going to sit there and be a panelist for disinformation and the erosion of democracy. You got to love it. You got to love it. The guy spent his whole career eroding our democracy, eroding and spreading lies. Fake news. It's all wrong, Brian Stelter. Where's the lemon meat at? Where's Don Lemon? Is he going to be the next professor, the next fellow of all this, of disinformation? So, I mean, I could go on with this, folks, but you get it. Y'all get it. He's disinformation person that's pushing disinformation, but he's going to tell you what the disinformation is. Very similar to Joe Biden and the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas trying to push through that Truth Council, if you all remember that, where the government was going to tell us what was truth and what isn't. Very similar to what these media outlets are going to do in conjunction with the social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook. When the election comes up, they're going to sit there and tell us what is truth and what is false, what is misinformation, what is disinformation. All the while, if you say something that actually is true, then you're going to be silenced. You're going to be suppressed this coming midterm election. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.